Welcome back. So have you ever had someone say to you, you're so lucky to have such a good husband? Now, at first thought, it really is a nice thing to hear, but one woman recently shared that that phrase troubles her. She wrote, I've been told I'm lucky that my husband does things with the kids that don't require my help. I've been told I'm lucky my husband is so supportive of my career and that he changes his work schedule when I have a meeting or work travel. Basically, I've been told I'm lucky for him being and doing exactly what a husband or wife is supposed to do for their spouse. So we thought we'd dive into this one. Today, in Real Talk, we have the one and only Jamie Bendel, the one and only Lynn Lilly, and licensed psychotherapist Pat Jones. Welcome, everyone. I love this one.
Good to be here.
And we actually have two great topics, kind of related to love, passion, relationships. So right off the bat, Pat, I'm going to start with you. Can you relate to this woman's frustrations that she shouldn't be considered lucky? Because isn't that what being in a marriage or being in a partnership is all about?
Well, of course, but it sounds like she's got him well trained.
Yes.
Not that Jamie, I can already tell, is loaded to talk about this.
Oh, I was going to say
we were already talking before the show.
Looking like
Wait,
money.
Right.
I know.
Right.
Excuse me,
right.
you guys had a real talk without me in the
We
break?
did before the show.
I just
sorry.
want to comment. I think a lot of the problems, and certainly the couples I see, is there's not enough communication. Some guys are really, really caretaking, and some guys really take responsibility. Others just have no idea what they're doing. And the wife will say, it's always around the dishwasher, please empty the dishwasher. And sometimes they'll empty the dishwasher, and sometimes it goes without being emptied, and then it causes great stress without really knowing that doing that means I love you.
So much.
Emptying the trash can.
Yes.
Oh, he thought about it, he did it.
Right.
But there are men that probably like Jamie, who really, really take charge and do things for the wife.
Oh, Pat, for a moment there, I thought you were in my head.
No.
I thought you were in my head.
Hold on. Now, Lynn Lilly, let's talk. It's
So let me just tell you, I had a Facebook post recently. I've been out of town, and I posted a photo. Brennan dressed Lily very well. He had a cute little outfit, and I was like, he's getting the girl dad thing down. I had friends commenting like, you left your daughter home with your husband? Mine wouldn't even know what to do. And I had friends being like, oh my God, he's home with her by himself, a 5-month-old. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, well, that's what he's supposed to do.
Right.
That we're a team, and we've learned to take care of our child equally because we both work, and we both want what's best for her, and we make those I'm like, that's just kind of how it is.
Isn't
He's
that
a
funny?
fantastic dad, and I give him props for that, and he gives me props for being a good mom.
Yeah.
But it was just so interesting to see that, but I think that is also the culture in which the moms are almost creating.
Yeah.
My husband was like, if you wouldn't let me take care of our child while you were out of town, I would be
It's
livid.
insulted. Yeah. Right, it's insulting.
He'd be
Right.
like, I can't do this?
Yes.
Very insulting.
Yeah.
All right, now, Jamie, what?
Jamie's
you
been
look like you're
waiting.
itching to speak.
Okay, so it's two things, right? One, I think that a lot of times women and moms have this tendency to turn their husbands into infants, as though we're unable to clothe or feed or care for our children. And it's not really, and Kelly said it to me at times, she says, if something happened to me, you'd never know where the kid's doctor were. And I then reply and say, we'd get new doctors. I don't even know which doctors we go to. There's plenty in Atlanta.
Open up the phone book, old school style.
There's a whole bunch right here. And by the way, the kids are old enough to tell me where the doctor is. But the reality is that part of it is what this woman is talking about, the normal sharing, helping component of a marital relationship that says, hey, I need you to do this with the kids, or hey, I need you to do that for me, which should be a part of the relationship.
Absolutely.
And it wouldn't be the way to be like, oh my God, how lucky am I? My wife did this, that, or the other.
Right.
That are sort of the normal components of the relationship.
What about, I always hear when I'm like, Lance, I'm cheering you on tonight. We couldn't find a sitter, so Jim is staying with the girls. But it's funny, they go, oh, Dad's babysitting? What about the term of dad babysitting? It's like, no, Dad is watching you because you're his child. But it's all those things. I want to go back to the point, though. Do you feel like it, and Pat, I'm sure you see this when couples are talking to you, Jim was raised by a very strong woman who also made him very self-reliant, and he had to help out and had to do laundry and so it's almost like, is it because of the way we were raised that we're finding maybe some men being super helpful and some maybe just not? Maybe some mothers babied them.
Oh, I think that's absolutely true. I do think, though, that some men definitely marry their mothers and let the wife take care of everything.
Yes.
Yes. Self-reliant men raised in a really good way can be a really, really good partner in a relationship. And when the father spends time with the daughters, that's a connection with helping their self-confidence.
Oh, yeah.
That's so special, I think.
It's so important.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that I won't get into in-laws and parents, but
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get into it.
my husband started watching me like, oh, yeah.
Okay.
No, but I think
That's what Pat's here for.
Yes,
by the
that's
way.
right.
For.
Yes, make an
But
appointment.
I think it comes down to that communication. We had these conversations before we had Lily and said, what is this going to be like,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
And I work just as much as you do. So I think having that communication ahead of time set us up for more success and us being equal partners, you know, and granted, sometimes we're not equal partners in our marriage because we fight about who's going to do the dishwasher and pick up the trash and things like that. But specifically with our child, we have those conversations ahead of time, and I think that has really helped us because if we're having a baby,
No surprises.
Yeah.
there's no surprises.
Right.
We're taking equal responsibility.
You got to get into that.
The woman says that she waited on the right guy before marrying just anyone. And I mean, I would say that's probably wise. Like,
Right.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Hello?
You probably shouldn't take your first Tinder date.
No,
Mary.
that's
right.
That's right.
It's just a thought. But, you know, and I think, again, it's setting those expectations. So, you know, and I wonder, do you and your buddies go, oh, I'm so lucky I have the best wife? I mean, isn't that just...
You know, so listen, sometimes when that happens, there are quotation marks around lucky. Like, I'm so lucky. I'm kidding, I'm teasing.
Jamie, you're on a
I
panel.
know, that's why I'm making the joke.
Okay, it's a joke.
But I think
He's a
there is a
comedian.
difference
Right.
between, there is a real difference between, I think, sometimes what the primary caretaker's expectations are.
Yeah.
And so some of it is my kids used to give me a hard time about the fact that whatever they normally ate, like Kelly was the primary meal maker.
Yeah.
When she wasn't around to make the meals, I put everything on an English muffin.
Yes,
So
exactly.
it was like, yeah, we are doing English
Yeah.
muffins, right? And Kelly would be like, why do you do this? Why don't you do the stuff that I do? And some of it has to do with our own formation of relationships with the kids.
Right.
But it is having some clarity around what's the difference between parenting consistency
Yes.
and establishing independent relationships with your children. And I
Right.
think sometimes those are the root of a lot of the conflict. So
Well,
it's
they
not...
start getting resentful.
Exactly,
As you mentioned, they are
exactly.
not doing the little things that just
Right.
make her feel loved.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, I want to make sure we still have a few more minutes, and I got to get on this next topic, staying on the relationship vein here. How long does passion last? The question was recently asked to a neurologist who says, and I quote, "Romance will never last for a lifetime. You have to accept falling in love is just a phase that is going to go away. If you accept that, you'll have fewer divorces and more happy people." Pat, I want to start with you. What do you think?
I think that's pretty depressing.
I mean, too.
He's a neurologist, not a poet.
I just came across, as I was thinking about this show, a TED Talk with Helen Fisher, who's a brain researcher. And they're looking at the changes in brains in people that are really, really romantically involved. And they're noticing after 25 years of marriage, the changes in the brain are exactly the same. So you can sustain romantic love.
Oh,
yes.
yay, there's hope. I
Yes,
have
there's
goosebumps.
always hope.
Yes.
Providing, you know, husband's not sitting there on an iPhone all the time. Or
Well, you're looking
not
right at
showing
me.
me.
I mean, wasn't she not right? Holy moly.
I just noticed.
She's observant.
Exactly, exactly. But even going back to the last topic, if you tell other people that you have such a wonderful wife, a great wife, she appreciates that. Because it's not
Yes.
done enough in front of other people.
Right.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
We asked you to weigh in on Facebook. Does romance have an expiration date? Let's go ahead and put that up. Teresa says, no, not at all. Sure, the excitement of the unknown is gone, but true romance is doing something special or unexpected for someone you love, even though you don't have to. Also, Karen
Great.
said, and it's going to make me cry, look at George and Barbara Bush if you need that answer.
Absolutely. Beautiful.
Love.
Absolutely.
I cried so
To
hard
the
the other
end.
night.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think also, and I know, again, Pat, you see this, I'm sure, there are ebbs and flows. I mean, I think,
Absolutely.
like as far as like romance or passion, I can think back to the recession when, you know, we're worried about losing our business or we invested in a lot of real estate. That stress was so taxing on both of us and on the relationship. Things are better different times. Then you're just
That's
like
right.
all over each other, and
Yeah.
and I mean, it's you see that. So it's
Absolutely.
not. Hopefully, you don't stay in one
Absolutely.
place.
Right.
The saying,
negative place.
Yeah, the saying is you have to have sex to have children. After have children, you don't have sex.
Oh God, that's depressing. Pat.
That's why you have to work on that.
Yes.
You have to put energy into that, not to let that happen, because children can absorb just a whole lot of energy.
Yeah, I want to ask, we have about 2 minutes left. The neurologist also says that when we're falling in love, we see people as we want them to be, not as they are. What do you think about that?
So I think when you start any relationship, right, you have this idealistic, and you get to know someone, right? And you don't want to change them, but I think you get to know and love them as you go. Everyone has that idealistic, if I want this Prince Charming. But love is about getting to know that person and accepting one another. And then you have those ebbs and flows, and you love differently. I've seen Brett in a whole new light now that we have a daughter, and I love him in such a different way because I see the love he can give, right?
Exactly.
But it's a constant work in progress.
Right.
They suck the life out of you. You're tired.
You are
You have to work.
That's the reality. Is
Yeah.
for most people, they're marrying somebody who they have no idea what they're going to be like as a parent.
Right.
Right.
Yes,
and that,
absolutely.
or what they're like in a relationship, being a parent. So much of what we do in relationships is guessing.
Yeah.
What is this person going to be? And the best predictor of what they're going to be like is pretty much what they're
What
like
they were
now.
like now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Right.
there really isn't going to be much of a change.
Right.
We only have about 15 seconds. Final thoughts on keeping, final thoughts in 50 seconds, on keeping the passion and sustaining that love.
What you have to do is make sure your priorities are your wife is the top, the children are underneath. And if you don't put that wife, husband at the top, you don't have special times where you have dinner together, have special dates. I see a lot of couples who write each other notes, little special things like that seem so inconsequential, but really do touch the heart.
Yes.
And that's how you sustain it.
I love it.
great.
We could have
Very
gone
good.
on and on and on, but we
Speaking
want,
of which, can I
we
give
want
a
you to
quick-
weigh in at landoncompany.com or Facebook page. Yes.
Kelly birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday.
Happy
Happy birthday, Kelly.
Boom. Okay, there you go.
Showing the love.